Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our Q&A training for this evening. And what I want to just kind of get to right up front here is that if you uh, have not seen that we we're releasing some new PLR. We actually we're not necessarily going to do this until tomorrow. We decided to go ahead and do it. So if you haven't picked it up, you can pick it up there at the plrshow.com / MMO front. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to place this link inside of the group here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can write them there in the box. I'll be happy to take any questions that you might have. And let's just put this link in here that says we're live, and then we'll go. Right. Let's see, we're there. We are live, and I will just kind of slide this here into the group. We're good to go here. Okay. So once again, you can pick up the free PLR at the plrshow.com /MMO front. All right. So let's kind of go ahead and dive in here. All right. And basically, I want to talk a little bit about branding tonight. And I know that one of the concerns about from a number of you that I have heard that you want to start taking your PLR, you want to start generating some sales. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? And so I know that some of you are using the PLR for branding, and I think that's fantastic. I think some of you all have YouTube channels, you have Roku channels, and that's great if you use the PLR that way. But I know a number of you get it because you want to use the sales pages, you want to use the marketing materials, and you want to make sales. And so, what I want to do is kind of address that from the standpoint of doing it from YouTube. Now, I'm not talking about taking all your PLR and put it on YouTube. In fact, I'm suggesting you don't need to put any of it on there to do what I'm going to be talking about here tonight. It doesn't have anything to do with that, really. And what you want to be able to do is to you leverage YouTube for your brand and business growth, right? So that's the idea here. And really, what we're going to be talking about here on YouTube tonight, it's going to be the same thing. If you want to if you want to do if you want to do a Roku channel, if you want to do a Facebook Live sort of group, and you want to put video in there. I think that if you want to build your business, you want to sell more products, in particular products as a PLR that you have. This is gonna address that here tonight. And let's talk about just basically the four elements of YouTube monetization. And you've got four basic categories of income opportunities, and I just want to just kind of put these in here because YouTube can be your entire business model, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm gonna just kind of touch on this briefly. There's a lot of content that's already really addressed this, and I feel like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill in some of the gaps around this content. So let's just fly through this quickly. Now, if you already have a primary business, or in other words, you're already got something that you're selling. You have a people that are following you. You have people that are buying from you. You're going to be using YouTube to brand and bond with people, right? That's the idea. That's primarily what you're going to be doing it for. If your business model may be a little more fluid, right? Now, maybe you're not. Maybe you're selling. something, but you don't necessarily only have that one product. Well, maybe you might want to incorporate YouTube into what you're doing to increase your income, right? There's some income specific, or there's some YouTube specific income opportunities or strategies. There's AdSense or ad dollars. So in other words, YouTube gives you a piece of the ad dollars that they collect. Now, in order to get AdSense, you do have to have a certain number of subscriptions. You do have to have a certain amount of watch time, and that's going to kind of put you in a category, I think, at this point, that not everybody's going to be in. So if AdSense is kind of what you're relying on, I think you've now, as of the recording of this session that we're doing, you're going to have at least 1,000 subscribers. You're going to have, I think, 240,000 hours of watch time. During a calendar year. That may not be something that you have, right? And so that's only going to be some people that can monetize that way. Other people are going to monetize by affiliate marketing. It doesn't matter what you're selling, right? So you can be selling digital products, you can be selling physical products, you can be doing product reviews of electronics. Doesn't really matter. Basically, you're gonna build your brand, and you're going to get people to click on your links, and then you're gonna get them to buy things, and you're gonna attract them through YouTube. I mean, that's definitely a business model. You're going to promote your own products, whether they be digital or physical, right? Doesn't matter, right? You've got a business, and you're going to use YouTube for selling, right? You're going to use YouTube for generating sales. You can also do the influencer and audience model. So, in other words, basically, what you're doing is you're gathering an audience, and then you're going to lend that audience to a sponsor who, if your audience has a certain demographic, you have a certain number of people that are coming as a result of that audience. You can monetize that audience by giving sponsor access. Maybe you're going to mention the sponsor. Maybe you're going to give sponsors the access to your list. Maybe you're going to put their products on your videos. There are a number of ways that you can monetize your audience, and basically, you're not going to be focused on selling products. In fact, in some cases, if you have a sponsor, they're not necessarily going to want you having a lot of other products on there. Your job is going to be to keep the audience engaged, and then the sponsor or sponsors write you a, I don't know, people don't write a check anymore, but they give you money, right, for that. Right. So there's the influencer and audience model, where you're allowing people to have access to your audience. Let's talk about what YouTube is, right? And those are things you probably knew already, but let's talk about what it is, right? And what you're really looking to do. I mean, it's a platform that people are used for information. It's a platform that some people use for entertainment. I'm talking about the user in this case. In other words, some people just go there to find things that'll entertain them, make them laugh, or make them watch, or something that'll give them just some interest, right? To keep them engaged, keep them intrigued. It's a platform that people use for community. So, in other words, some people create videos, or they do vlogs, and they're looking to participate in a community with other people that create videos in it. So it almost functions like a social network, right? And you start to develop a bond with the people that are creating other videos in related areas like you, and they watch each other's videos, and the point can be to monetize, but some people just use it for this social aspect. And for some people, it's a platform they use to make buying decisions, right? It's used as a search engine. So some people say, well, you know what? I want to know what the Canon EOS, whatever 1455 is. And so they'll go to YouTube, they'll put in that model number, and hopefully they'll be looking for somebody who's made a video, so they can decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy this camera based on what I see demonstrated on YouTube, right? Some people use YouTube that way. I mean, those are some basic ways people use it. Now, let's talk about if you are a creator, right? If you an uploader, or you are a user. It's a tool to reach all four categories of these people, right? You're using YouTube to reach the people that are looking for information, looking for entertainment, looking for community, or looking to make buying decisions. You're looking for those people, right? So you want to use YouTube to build up your brand. Once again, I mean, if you think about it, right, everything that we'll talk about here tonight isn't specific to YouTube. We're going to talk about some applications on YouTube, but basically, the elements of building a brand where people are going to buy from you online, those elements are going to be pretty solid across platforms. We're going to get into that. YouTube is owned by Google, and the reason why this is important is because it is not your platform, and this is something that over the last few years people have really had to have it hammered home to them. Sometimes by example, that look, Google makes the rules, and they'll make changes based on whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. And I don't mean to make them sound draconian, but they're in the business to make a profit, and so if they feel like something's going to threaten their profit, they're going to change something, right? They're going to get out of certain. They're going to close down tools. They're going to open up new tools. They're going to change the rules on certain tools, and that's going to happen all the time. That's going to be important because you don't want to make this something that you were solely dependent on. In other words, the people that are using the platform for information, for entertainment, for community, and making buying decisions, they don't come. They become yours when you make them yours, right? So in other words, if you have these people and the only place where you can meet with them is going to be on Google's platform, which is YouTube, they're not yours yet. They might be watching your videos every day or every week, and you might feel like they're yours. They're your viewers, but they're not your viewers unless you do certain things. We're going to be talking about that here in this session. And basically, what you've got to do, and you got to do this on any platform, but you've especially got to do it on YouTube. You're going to have to strike the balance between meeting their desire for content with your need to monetize, right? Because the better content that you put forth on YouTube, the more you're going to be able to do, and hopefully, you're going to be able to do more of it the more time you have. But you don't have time to do that, right? If you got to do other things to monetize, and so basically, you're always going to be balancing out, how much time can I spend on this video or these videos if they don't necessarily yield back a certain level of income, right? So basically, if it's yielding you a certain level of income from that activity, or it's feeding into your business, that's going to be worth it. If it's not feeding in and it's actually taken away, then you're going to have to decide on how long you're going to continue on YouTube, or what you're going to do in order to make it worth your time, in order to make it worth the profit that you may or may not be giving up. Let's talk about some underlying principles for long-term growth if you're going to brand in YouTube, right? If you're going to build a brand in YouTube, whether you're selling things on the video, or whether you're selling something else, a product, there's some underlying principles, and these are going to be factors outside the technical ones. So if you might say, well, you know what, I want to know how to do SEO. Well, that's not necessarily what we want to cover here, right? What I want to cover here are those factors that are going to be the ones that are going to lead to your long-term success on this platform, right? Now, the first thing you're going to have to do with your videos, over and above everything else. Now, again, I've heard lots about how to rank videos, but you've still got to get people to watch. And if you can get people to watch, you can get people to come back and watch your subsequent videos because there's something in them that cannot be had anyplace else. Right? You're going to have to do something in your videos that's going to create a different, unique experience. Now, sometimes, in some cases, it can be your opinion, it can be your point of view. But regardless, I've got to be able to come to watch. If all you're doing is you're doing the skyscraper version of somebody else's video. You're taking what they've covered, you're going to cover it in a slightly different way. That's not going to be long term growth, because somebody can come in behind you and do the same thing and dilute what you're doing. So you want to be able to create something different, something unique. It doesn't have to be especially creative. It just has to be different, unique, and it has to be useful to the people that are going to be watching that video. You've also got to drive people from platform to permanent content tact, right? So if you're on YouTube, you have got to drive people to some place where again they become yours. If people are watching your videos and they're not on a platform that you own and control, then they are still going to be YouTube's customers. They don't become yours until they become yours. In other words, you've got to bring them onto your platform where you can contact them permanently. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. You want to work with other creators in collaboration, right? That's how you're going to expand your audience. You're also going to want to understand the benefits of paid advertising and when to use it. Now we're going to talk not going to talk about that in detail, But basically, YouTube is a place where you can actually pay to be in front of people. And there are going to be some times where it's going to benefit your channel and benefit your business to use YouTube in this way. But you need to understand when that's going to be appropriate. Now, once again, we're not going to, that's beyond the scope of this course. But that is something that if you can determine when it's worth it for you to pay YouTube in order to get in front of a targeted list of video watchers, then you want to undertake that. But I would suggest that you really get a feel for YouTube first before you start down that road. Get a feel for who's going to be watching your videos. Get a sense for what kind of videos you need to create to sell more of your product or to build the audience you want to build before you go down that road. You do want to have a sense of what's going to work and what's not going to work on YouTube for you. Um, One of the other benefits is delivering benefits to your community, right? Giving back, right? To whatever you call your community is. And we're going to get into that too. And one thing that people who are successful on YouTube, in particular from a business perspective, is they use direct marketing language and principles whenever it's possible, right? And we'll talk about that. And then, of course, you can make your video content accessible in search and social. That's going to mean that people are going to see your videos on their way to do something else. If you can do that, you can do that on a regular basis. Then you're going to be successful in getting people to see your videos. And the more people that you get to view those videos, you're going to be able to turn them into customers. And of course, lastly, one principle that you can use in order to build your long term growth on YouTube is you can also repurpose your video into other forms. Let's talk about creating a unique experience. That's one thing that we said that you've got to do. And this is going to be the case whether you're branding, you're using YouTube for branding purposes, or whether you're using just for selling. There's got to be a reason for somebody to tune into your videos. Now, you can get anybody to watch a video one time, right? But if you're really going to invest your time and effort into creating videos on a regular basis and you want to use it to grow your business, then there's got to be a reason. There's got to be something that I cannot find in other videos. And if you do that, you're going to find that more people are going to come back to your second, third, fourth videos and on down the line. Now, in most cases, it's going to be the information you're sharing, right? Maybe you've got a timely topic and not everybody has covered it, or not everybody's covered it yet. You're the first one to cover it, or it's something that has been uncovered. So, in other words, people may have covered it, but they just didn't cover it very well. They do it at a very surface job, and you do a good job of covering it, right? In other words, if you can do that repeatedly, if you can do that consistently, then those are reasons why I've got to come to your channel. That's a reason why you're going to have people watching because they're going to hear something from you and they're going to hear it in a more comprehensive way than they can hear it elsewhere. Now, it can be the way you cover it. So in other words, it's not just going to be that you took somebody else, you took an idea and you're doing it something that everybody else is doing, and then you just decide, well, I'm just going to add a few words to it or add something to the script. No, it's your angle, right? It's your perspective. And once again, if your perspective is going to be something unique and it's going to be a particular point of view, you can cover some of the same things that other people have covered already because people are coming to you for your unique point of view and what they experience when they get that. It can be a different kind of video. So, in other words, let's say that the videos that are all available on a particular topic, they're all PowerPoint. Well, maybe you're going to make yours animated, and maybe you're going to make yours live. You want to always be, you want to always decide on whether or not you're going to be a little more personable in your videos, or you can just be the kind of video you're going to be to the point. Both kinds can exist, and some people really want people who are going to be folksy. They want people to, when they're watching your videos, to be fun, and maybe that's not your personality, right? You don't have to try to be that person. You don't. Sometimes you can develop a following. You develop people who will compliment you because, look, man, I mean, I really appreciate the fact that you got right to the point and got my, and kept my time in mind. Or some people just want to be on live, right? Some people want to be in a live recording. And so maybe you're covering something as a live, as a live hangout or a live recording that other people are going to do videos on. Again, you're differentiating. You're going to create a unique experience, right, for the person who's experiencing your content. And now this is just as an aside, and I want to say this, that even in the course of creating a unique experience, what that doesn't mean is just keep adding on until you have a long video. That's not necessarily going to do the job. You've got to make this so that shorter is always going to be generally better than longer, right? That's generally going to be the case. So when in doubt, cut it out, right? Try to keep your videos short. Try to keep them only the pertinent amount of information. Again, maybe you want to be more personable, but even still, right? Even if you want to be personable, I mean, you're taking up people's time. You want to make sure that every minute they watch is going to be necessary, right? You don't want to have a lot of filler in there, right? Again, unless you're entertaining. Now, you want to create serial videos over episodic. So in other words, some cases you're going to do something on one topic and you can do something totally different the next time. But if possible, one of the things that really keeps people engaged is there's some connection between the topic you do, let's say on Tuesday, and the topic you do the following Tuesday, right? You want it to be a serial. You want people to be familiar with what's happening last week. And if they're watching this week, they really should, in some cases, right? You may want to have it so that they kind of want to go back and watch some videos in order to figure out what's going on today, right? Serial over episodic. So if they can come to a video, right, that you have, and they can understand everything that you've said, or everything that you're doing, just by watching this one video, then I mean they really don't have any reason to go back and watch your others, or they don't even have any reason to kind of come back the next day. But if everything's going to be connected, and you're able to pique their interest in a video that they're watching, they're going to be apt to come back and watch the other one. Now, you're gonna want to be consistent in doing this. Um, uh, uh, the worst thing that you can do to a YouTube channel is that you can be inconsistent. So in other words, you're doing a video every week and you're doing it at the same time every week. You want to continue to hold that pattern, right? Because people will decide that they're going to stay with you, but they want to see you committed to your process first. It ought to be habitual. And when I say habitual, I'm not talking about your habit. I'm talking about making it part of other people's habit. And that's basically going to mean having it at a time and place every week, or every day if you're doing that, or every month, right? It ought to fit in, because when people can set their watch by you, then that means then that basically you're saying then, hey, this is necessary content. Make sure you're here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m., right? And you follow through on that by being habitual, right? So you gotta help your viewers and your customers create a habit, and they can't do that if you're going to be in a different place at time and day every day. Um, Minor thing, brand your appearance, right? So you've got a background, maybe you've got some merchandise, maybe you've got t-shirts, maybe you've got shirts that everybody wears on your team. Brand your appearance, right? Brand it, right? Just, and again, it's all subtle, it all flows in the background. Whatever your logo is, whatever all that stuff is, try to have a branded appearance. Also, be directional. So in other words, be going someplace. Now, I talked about a serial a video channel, but in some cases, one of the things you can do is you can be taking the viewers on a journey. You're going to a definite destination. That is a reason for people to stick with you. In other words, they know that you're not there yet, but they know that you're getting there, and there is definitely some place that you're going. They're going to want to stay on and stick with you, continue to watch your videos. You can also be developmental. So in other words, what you're doing on your channel is you're working with somebody, you're working to improve them, you're working through a process, you're helping them through that process. And again, it is developmental. So you're basically taking them from where they are to building them up. And it's also relational, right? In terms of creating that unique experience, a unique bond. You're taking in kind of, and we're going to talk about this, reading the comments and interacting with people, but you want to be relational. You want to build a bond with them. You want to make sure they feel that they know you, at least within the niche. Right now, I'm not saying you got to tell everybody your personal business, give out your telephone number and your address. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about, though, is being relational. What I am talking about is letting people know you, letting people understand you. And finally, you've got to be sincere, right? There's no reason to be disingenuous. And the video can reveal what you really think. I mean, it's really hard to be transparent if you really aren't. If you're really trying to be one thing and you're really not that thing, or you're really trying to convey that you're happy or you're sad or you're mad about something, you're really not. Be sincere, right? And one of the things that people who are successful doing this over the long term, when they get on camera, that's their real self. And again, look, if you're going to be consistently doing these videos, you don't want to have to act. You don't want to have to. That will drain the life and energy out of creating content on video if you've got to pretend to be something else, because it's hard to be consistent when you've got to work at who you're going to be on camera, right? Or who you're going to be when you're doing the voiceover. You need to be developing contacts outside the platform. What do I mean by that? Um, Now, when it comes to people watching those videos, YouTube is supposed to send out notifications, but you should not be dependent on that. Um, your subscriber numbers, they're only meaningful if the people who are subscribed to you come and they're getting your notes when you want them to. So in other words, you send out a note that you're going to be doing a video, and your people are getting them, right? The people that subscribe and they're coming to watch those videos is necessary. But if you're not, then you can be fooled by what your subscriber numbers are. One thing, just as an aside, YouTube has a newsfeed posting system. You ought to use it. Right now, that's almost like having a little email that you're posting something that hopefully people are going to get the notifications for. But basically, you should be developing an email list. We're still at the point now where it matters if you can contact people having an email, right? And people still have email. It has not been replaced yet. Now there's reason to believe that you can use Messenger, but as of right now, if you want to write something long or you're trying to express something that's going to take a little while, then you may want to consider building your email list and making that a priority, right? It has to be a priority. And when you're emailing people, they ought to be coming to you for their bonuses and premiums and anything else that you have for them. So in other words, don't make it so that people can get everything by any other way than joining your list. If they're going to get the real good stuff, then you want to make sure they know they've got to become part of your email marketing list. We talked about Messenger, and as an aside, right? If you really want to build a bulletproof business where these customers are going to become yours, you want to also have a snail mail list, right? And that's going to take some work. That's going to cost you some money, but you will have a bulletproof list. Develop some kind of bonus or newsletter that people can only get if they sign up and you send it out to them. And they're going to have to fill in. Yeah, they're going to have to give you their name and address in order to do that. But again, you then have a real list. You're not dependent on YouTube. You're not dependent really on autoresponders. Having a snail mail list is still valuable in today's internet connected world. And really, when you have a contact list, you have a maximum opportunity to build out your monetization options, right? So that means you can send people to a new video that you have. That means you can send people a product recommendation. This means that you can send people an affiliate recommendation. So in other words, it gives you maximum opportunity. So again, don't just have a YouTube channel, right? Make sure you're sending those people to some kind of contact list, preferably email. And then listen, and as an aside, build a snail mail list, and if possible, you can also build yourself a Facebook Messenger list. Um, and as I said, I mean, this is just kind of a side. Don't make every premium available in the video or any other way, right? Again, you want to make it so that the very best stuff happens when they become your customer, right? Again, understand now, YouTube is a valuable platform, and they are doing a lot to make sure that you are going to be successful as a creator. However, you still want to capture the names and email addresses of those individuals. And again, every way that you can so that you can get in contact with them on demand. And this is the way that you're going to be able to build out. Yes, you want to make sure, and we just said this. These benefits are only going to accrue to these people, if they opt in. Right now, um, one of the ways you're going to expand your reach is to collaborate with people, right? That matters, right? It does matter. And when possible, you want to collaborate. You want to look for other people who are like you in mindset, in niche, right? Look for other like-minded creators to get together with. And basically, you want to get to know these people through their own channel, right? Get to know them through their channel, and basically, you want to be familiar with their content. You may not necessarily, you may not necessarily, have time to sit down and watch all their videos, but you want to be familiar with them before you decide you want to collaborate with them. And basically, once you've watched, maybe you're gonna interact with them on their channel, and you contact when the time is right, right? So what I'm basically saying here is that don't just make this a shotgun approach because now you want to collaborate with people and you're just going to contact people. You're going to contact everybody on Monday, everybody on Tuesday, everybody on Wednesday. That's not what you want to do. You want to kind of watch these people because listen, you want to be selective who you're gonna collaborate with. And when you do that, you need to contact with them when the time is right. You don't want to put this into, let's say, just a routine. You want to make this something that you take seriously, and you're going to make it relational, and you're going to get the right people at the right time. And when you do that, when you decide to collaborate, they're going to bring you on their channel. I think it's a little rude to send people straight to your email to your email list, right? Drive them back to your channel, right? Especially if you're going to be on YouTube. Don't use that opportunity necessarily, right? Unless it's cool with the guest, unless it's cool with the host, right? If the host expects you to do that, but generally drive people back to your channel, and then from your channel, drive them to your list. I mean, you're basically looking for opportunities when you collaborate to expand your audience, right? And so somebody else they're in your niche, they have an audience, and what you're doing is you are looking to expand yours. You're going to give them an opportunity to expand also. Now, when it's possible, um, try to respond favorably with to somebody's request. Right? Somebody wants you to appear. If you can do it, definitely do it. And even if it's not, even if it's a smaller channel, all of that exposure, especially within your niche, matters. Right now, you should be looking to make connections for your partners. So in other words, once you connect with somebody, you do a collaboration, you probably know some people that can help them get what they want. Again, what you're trying to do is you're building relationships, and who knows? I mean, when you're building a collaboration, right? That person has a list that you don't have. You have a list they don't have. Build a business relationship. Look for opportunities to give them connections and give them other things that are going to help them. And then also, whenever you're doing this, right? Once you have collaborated with somebody, look for opportunities in your videos to give them credit for ideas. Give them credit for something you learned from them. Give them credit for something they came up with. Look for opportunities to give them a shout out. Look for opportunities, especially the people you're collaborating with. That's going to be important to building, again, the long term relationship. Now, you ought to be able to find ways to give back to your community, right? Whatever your community is. Now, in some cases, your community is going to be the people that are watching your videos, right? Some cases are going to be your local area. Whatever it is, you've got to find ways within that channel to give back to that community. Now, I'm not talking about prizes and contests. That's a given. You ought to do those, right? So in other words, when you talk about you reach a certain numerical platform plateau, you reach 1,000 subscribers, do a giveaway, do a prize to people, make it random, right? But basically, what you're doing is you are finding ways to connect with people and to demonstrate that you're connecting with people. Now, you should be able to support charitable causes, and I'm going to say this right up front. Typically, it's going to be bad form outside of something like YouTube, but you really do want to let your community know, right? And there are tactful ways of being able to do that. Maybe you're going to shoot a video. Maybe you're going to shoot a video from an event you're attending, right? For your charitable opportunities, do it by video, and then also post about it if you write a blog, or even if you post on your YouTube news feed. And in some cases, you can even encourage your subscriber to give to your cause, right? By giving them the link. So in other words, it's a way of saying that you're charitable and you believe so much in the organization you're giving to, that you want to give to them. Now, there are lots of ways for you to give back to your community, but you want to be seen as somebody that supports people, right? You want to be seen as somebody who does things other than just for the money, right? You want to make sure that you're communicating that's not only about the brand and the money, right? You've got a bigger vision. Now, again, nothing wrong with making money, and like you should be ashamed of it. You shouldn't, right? But you want to communicate that you've got a bigger vision than the money, right? Then you're successfully making a lot of money, but at the same time, though, you want to make sure that, and again, in most cases, you're already doing some of this stuff. And so what you've got to do is you got to figure out how to tactfully make sure that people know what it is that you stand for, right? What it is you believe in. Um, direct marketing principles. You ought to be using this stuff in your videos, and um, generally, copywriting works. And the reason copywriting works is because, I mean, all of these laws and rules are based on psychological triggers. So don't think of, yes, you can write a title that's descriptive of what's happening, right? That's good, right? You should do that because then people can decide whether or not they want to watch a video or not. But you want to make the video, you want to be able to figure out how to do that, and also get them to click on your link. Excuse me. You want to make sure that when they see your headline, your title, it's interesting, it's intriguing, it makes them want to click on it so they can watch the rest of your videos. Again, think do using headlines and not titles. You want to make sure there's some emotional benefit. Now, I'm not saying that you have to promise an emotional benefit, but there ought to be some emotional benefit that people received from watching your video. Also, demonstrate proof. So, in other words, you want to demonstrate some trustworthy nature of your video. Why should we trust what it is you're saying? And then also be able to generate social proof, right? And you can do that routinely, right? You don't have to always give testimonials. Sometimes that would be a little weird inside of all your videos. But one thing you can do is when you know a topic well, you can get in there in your questions and comments and answer them, right? YouTube provides you a way to be able to demonstrate your knowledge. Now, obviously, you don't want to get in there and argue with people. You don't want to get in there and start having it out with people. But you can pick and choose some of the questions that you see and answer them. Right? Demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. That is going to be social proof. Answer questions, right, with more videos. Right. So in other words, you've got to answer somebody's question. Somebody has a question they write in your comments. Create another video in order to watch it. Right. And then also, um, and every video, right? Every video you do ought to come with a call to action, right? Get people to either opt in, get them to go over to a website, get them to do something, and be in a habit of at the end of every video, or near the end of every video, or in every video, make sure that you're going to give them some kind of call to action. And also, um, there really ought to be an urgent or scarce element, right, inside of your videos. If they watch that video when it first comes out, right? There should be some way for you to be able to reward them for watching that video, because you want to encourage people. Hey, you know what? It's 7 o'clock. I really like to see you here. But if you choose not to be here, there's some things you're going to miss out on, right? You can do that very easily by adding in some elements in your videos, right? Doing some giveaways or just doing something like passing out a link or passing out something that's only going to be available to people who are there live, right? There are lots of ways you can do that, but you want to add an urgent or scarce element. So again, so when people see it and they say, "Well, man, I missed it. You know, what time does this guy have his videos? Or what time does this lady put her videos on? I'm going to make sure I can see it." Right. So again, add some kind of urgent or scarce element. And then also, of course, you're going to make that video available in search and social. Now, again, of course, when it comes to YouTube, you want to make sure it's optimized for search. But you want to also optimize that video for socials and iTunes, right? But now, when you do that, uh, don't if the goal of your channel is to get people on your channel, right? If you're trying to get people to watch your videos on the channel, then don't post the entire video, right? Don't do that, right? So you just want people to have a tease. You want people to see a clip. They got to go to your YouTube channel to see the rest. And then also, of course, in search and social, drive people to your community and your email, right? Drive people to make them your customer. Again, even though they're on social, even though they may be on your fan page, that fan page is not yours. And so you've got to drive them to something that's yours. And then just in general, you've got to sort of either pick one social media, platform and master it and just be there, right? Just master it and be there. And also, one thing you can do that goes real well in search and social is making your video available is making photos available, right? So get some photos and make sure they're behind the scenes, right? So if you're producing videos, people want to know where you're doing it from or what it looks like when you're creating a video. Do some behind the scenes photos, right? That goes over extremely well. And then also, um, when it comes to social, let people know something's going to be coming, right? Yeah, another day I'm going to be delivering this video, and here's what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be really exciting, right? Tease people that the content's coming. That's what you're going to use social media for. Again, it's not going to be for you to put your entire video there or your entire video library there. That's a waste of your content, and basically, you may or may not move people from that medium onto your list. Right? Decide at the beginning how active you want to be on the socials, or which ones you're going to be active on. Don't let it determine. Don't let it determine your day, and don't let it determine how you're going to do business. What you want to do is you want to be active enough that's going to be able to generate. It's going to generate that kind of activity that you've been looking for. And then also, just as an aside, you want to make sure people know most of your discussion takes place on YouTube, right? Say that, right? Say that, right? Be upfront about that. That hey, most of the discussion is going to happen there. And then of course, one thing I just kind of want to mention just off the top, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but there are ways for you to repurpose your content and make it into other stuff. Kindle books, right? Physical products, digital products. What this does is this means then that you're taking the content that you already have and you're leveraging it, right? And definitely, anytime you have a series of videos on one topic, I very highly encourage you to have those videos transcribed and then work with someone to turn them into your own Kindle or paperback book. Because basically, what you're doing is it's a spelling out of your philosophy. It's a spelling out of what you think. It's a spelling out of how you go about this. And so that's a great way of being able to get people again watching and to keep tuned in, right? Okay, so in conclusion, right, we've talked about the pockets of monetization on YouTube. We've talked about what YouTube is. We've talked about the principles of long-term growth on YouTube. We've talked about creating a unique experience. We've talked about developing contacts out of the platform, off the platform. We've talked about expanding your reach with collaborators. We talked about giving back to your community. We talked about using direct marketing principles. We talked about being visible in search and social. And we've talked about repurposing your content into other forms. Right? Okay, so if you haven't picked up I said Roku and Fire Stock. I mean, Roku and Fire Stick. You can still pick that up at theplrshow.com/TFB, right? And then also there's the 4-week challenge PLR, and you can still get that at theplrshow.com/WK, or like something like 4 week. And also there's public speaking PLR. We've been telling you about. You can get that at plrshow.com/PSpeak, right? And if you're not signed up to our daily newsletter, make sure that you are. You can get signed up at theplrshow.com, and you'll get access to. We talk about PLR every day, right? So make sure you're signed up over there. And then also, if you're signed up and you still feel like you're not getting stuff on time, you're not getting stuff when you feel like you should, make sure to just go through the whitelisting process, right? Just go through plrshow.com/here, find your email provider, and then just make sure that you follow the steps that are there, and you'll be getting all of our notifications when we send them out. Now, also, I'd like for you to do me a favor. I've put forth a virtual summit survey, right? And I'm trying to determine what it is that's going to be most helpful for you. So if you'd go to this address and just answer, I think it'll take you 2 minutes at most, and this will really help me determine what the summit's going to look like. So plrshow.com/PLRV summit. Now, you can get access to lots of other training that I've done on PLR. You can get that at youtube.com/game mindshare. And also any of our additional PLR courses you can get that at the plrshow.com/PLR experts. All right. Okay. So any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, everybody. Well, that's going to be about it for today. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to just take off here. So appreciate y'all being here. Have a great night, a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.